That looks bomb.
Hope you guys are doing well and you're safe. Today is another meal that we're gonna cook where we can just leave it in the oven. And I love these type of recipes because we get to do things around the house, take care of the kids, take care of our other family members, and we don't really have to watch it too much. So what we have today is we have the miso salmon, and it's a very simple recipe and I guarantee you guys are gonna love it. All you guys need is just a few ingredients, and we have the sake for cooking, we have mirin, we have white miso. I like using that a lot more than the red misos. And then of course we got our salmon pieces. We're going to marinate these guys for a few days, and I swear it's going to be worth the wait because it's going to taste that good. So if you guys are ready, let's get on to marinating the salmon. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put our liquids in. So we'll have about 1 cup of sake. Okay. And then we'll have 1 cup of mirin. If you guys don't know what mirin is, it's a sweet wine. So both of these have alcohol in it. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna burn the alcohol out. And I'll show you how we do that in a quick second. So we have our 2 cups of liquid that I'm gonna pour in this guy. And then we're gonna let it boil. All right, so in the meantime, we're gonna measure out 2.5 cups of sugar. So when it boils, we're gonna melt the sugar down. This is actually one of my favorite marinades to make. You can use it with any fish you want. I choose salmon because it's one of the cheapest, but one of the best is using it with some black cod. And a lot of the fancy Japanese restaurants, that's what they make miso marinades with. All right, so now that all the alcohol is boiling, we're gonna flambe this guy. Woo! We're gonna cook all that alcohol out just like that. It's gonna take a few minutes for it to flambe. Whew, it's really hot. I'm just gonna leave it there for a second. That's crazy. Usually when I do this, it only lasts about a minute, but this is a pretty good few minutes here. So just like that, all the alcohol is burned out. We're trying to get that taste out of there, so what we can do is we can check to make sure it's all done. See, just like that, now we know there's no more alcohol content in there. And we're gonna lower this a little bit so it's not boiling so hard. And we'll dump our sugar in here. And we're gonna melt this guy down. Okay. Trying to heat back up a little bit. All right, now that the sugar is dissolved, we're gonna add in our white miso. Oh, so fresh. You guys can use this for miso soup or anything else. What we're gonna do is we'll use about half of this pack right now. So we'll take 1 big scoop like that. And we're gonna slowly mix it in here so the miso doesn't burn. We're just gonna keep mixing it like that. So it's breaking apart and it's mixing into the liquids. I'm actually gonna use a little more. So we're actually using about 3/4 of this miso here. I'm gonna lower the heat because I don't want it to boil. The last thing I want is for this miso to burn and get very, very dark. It'll get black and the sugar is gonna burn very fast. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for this miso to dissolve completely. And we're gonna thicken this a little bit. So a lot of people, when they make this marinade, once it dissolves like this, they're pretty much done with it. I like to make it a little bit darker because when you make your salmon in the oven, you'll see the beautiful color of the miso, and right now it's still a little too light for me. So we're gonna put it on a simmer and let it cook for a little bit. So we're just gonna occasionally stir this guy so it doesn't burn. So you see the miso is getting a little bit darker now. It's looking pretty good. Headed the right direction, we're almost there. All right, this is a beautiful color, guys. This is how dark we want our miso. Any more and it's gonna start to burn. That's great. It's almost like a sauce. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cool this guy down. So we're gonna remove this guy out of the pot. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. And we're gonna stop this guy from cooking. All right, so now we're gonna let the miso cool down, and the fastest way to do that is by using an ice bath. And I highly recommend it because if we don't, it's just gonna remain hot in this bowl, and it's gonna continue cooking and get darker. So we don't want it to get any darker than that. So we're gonna add water to our ice bath. Okay. And we're just gonna stick this guy in here. Just like that. See that steam that comes out? Really want it to cool down. Once it cools down, we can put our salmon in here. We put it now, it's just gonna cook, and we don't want that to happen. You see how the miso is stuck on the side like that? That's how thick we want it to get. We really want it to just stick on the salmon. And I can't wait to show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so as it cools down, it actually gets a lot thicker and becomes more of a sauce consistency, which is perfect. Oh yeah. Woo! Really, really sweet. But it mixes really well when you put it on the salmon. The salmon alone is already so salty. So it's a perfect combination. Alright guys, it has completely cooled down. It was only about 10 minutes with the ice bath. And look how thick it's gotten. You see that? Oh, that's so good. Okay. So, we're gonna take out the ice bath. And before we put the salmon into the marinade, we're gonna save some of this for a sauce. So very carefully, I'm gonna put it into a sauce bottle. And we don't need that much sauce, just enough for presentation and a little extra kick. All right, and just like that, we have our sauce. I'm gonna put it in the fridge and we'll use it when we're done cooking our salmon. So now that the marinade is done, we get to toss our salmon in here. And you can definitely make a lot more salmon with this, guys. I only have 4 pieces, so that's all I'm gonna do. But a lot of times I can make 6 to 8 pieces. Just like that, I'm gonna let it coat the entire salmon. You see how beautiful this guy looks? This is a beautiful marinade. I like that it really just sticks onto the salmon. All right, so now that we got the salmon in the marinade, we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. We're gonna go with the same method that I used last time for the ribs. And we're gonna make sure we put a plastic wrap on the inside of the bowl to really hold in that flavor. Just give it a little dab, like that. Okay, you see that? That's all we want. And then now we can wrap our bowl. All right, there we have it, guys. Now we're gonna let this guy marinate in the fridge for 3 days. Every day, just once a day. I'm just gonna mix it and then seal it back up. So we'll see you when this bad boy is done. Alright guys, so I took the miso salmon out of the refrigerator and let's see what it looks like. Ooh, it's really sealed. Oh yeah, okay. You guys see this? So when I wipe off the miso marinade, look how it's soaked into the salmon. It's completely, the texture is different and you can really tell that it's in there. That's great. You see that? That's amazing. So you can tell even looking at the back of the salmon on the bottom here, it's all different textures, almost like a gelatin. It's a little bit harder. That's what we want. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to put this on our sheet pan. So we're gonna wipe off the excess marinade on here. We don't need it to be too much. And we're just gonna gently put it on our sheet pan. Just take it off like that. Okay. Just like that. Oh wow, okay, that smells really, really good. Now that we're ready to cook it, I preheated my oven to 425. We're gonna stick these salmons in there for about 12 to 15 minutes, and that's it. That's how easy and simple it is. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Wow, all right, these guys look really, really good. The color is perfect. Look, all around the salmon, it browned. And I actually wanna get the salmon looking like that. So what I wanna do is I wanna plate it right now, guys. I'm gonna move this over a little bit. Before I put the salmon on, I'm actually gonna get some rice on here. Just like that. I'm gonna get my nice piece of salmon and I'm gonna put it right here. All right, now what I want to do is I want the color of the salmon to be like what's on this pan. So I'm gonna roast it with my torch a little bit and get this color out. You see that? Get it along the edges, get some of that sugar flavor. Just like that. And now the color is really starting to come out. I use this technique so it doesn't overcook in the oven. Just like that, guys. It's beautiful. I'm gonna finish it off with some furikake on the rice. Just like that. Some on the plate so it looks nice. There you have it, guys. The miso salmon is ready. It's so easy to make in very little steps. It just takes a little time to marinate, but once it's done, it's like I didn't even do anything. I just mixed stuff in a bowl, I just threw it in the oven, and I put it on a plate. I didn't really have to do any real cooking on the stove, so that's really good. All right, honestly, this is the easiest 30-minute meal I've ever made. I love cooking stuff in the oven because we never have to watch it. Oh man, it smells so good. Let's eat this up right now. I really want to try it. It looks so good. It's one of the best I've ever made. Let me get this little end right here. Oh yeah. That flavor, It's sweet, it's salty. The miso is so salty, but I put so much sugar in the sauce that it mixes perfectly. And then adding some seaweed and sesame seeds into the rice, really good flavor. I love it. That's really, really good. I cooked it in the oven for about 13 minutes. I think 15 minutes is too long for small pieces like this. But my marinade makes it can make about an entire filet. And you cut it up, I don't know, that's about like 6 pieces, maybe 8 pieces. So today I did 4 for you guys, and it turned out really well. It's so good. Let me show you. This is what the inside looks like. Perfectly cooked. You can see that around the sides, the miso has went into the salmon, so it has a lot of flavor. But it still flakes because it's still tender. It's so good. I wish I can finish this all right now, but I really gotta bring it in for Christina because she's watching the kids and I know she's starving, so she's gonna be really happy with this. Thank you guys for watching today's Hungry Ant video. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe and you guys make it. Make sure to tag me on social media so I can repost it on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. I'll repost it because I really wanna see how all of my recipes works out for you guys and if you guys actually enjoy it with your families. So let me know. Don't forget to tag me, and on to the next video. Thank you guys. Holy crap, I forgot to put the sauce on there. As I was making Christina's plate, I'm back guys. Sorry, I'm back. But I want to show you the sauce that I put aside for this. It actually doesn't really need it. It's more for presentation. But I'm gonna go ahead and just put it on here. And I didn't want to miss out and just end the video. So we'll just go ahead and put the sauce there like that for her. Look at that. So we got the sauce. We'll put some sauce on mine too. How about that? Okay. So it's just more of a dipping sauce, and that's about it. There you have it. That is the perfect plate right there. And now I'm really gonna bring it to Christina to eat. So I'll see you guys in the next video.
All I want to is to be close to you, but I don't know how and what to do. I'm so shy.